My name is Kelly Brantley. I actually was invited to POUR. I was first invited by Jenny when I was in a very dark place. So Jenny became very vital, I think, in my recovery through all of this, because she was like, you know, Kelly, I have this group that I meet with every Thursday. I think you need to come on. So I get on, and like I said, I was in a very dark place with my anxiety. I had some medical kind of conditions that were kind of unexplained, a lot of pains, like neurological things going on that doctors couldn't figure out what was going on. And I just kept going through testing and testing. They're like, everything's normal, but I was still experiencing these symptoms that I'm like, what is going on with me? And the more that I thought about it, the more I just kept getting like, there's something really wrong with me. There's something really, and I just could not get out of it. Like, I just kept getting more anxious, more depressed. And that Thursday I got on, and I remember Benet was talking about Jericho, the Jericho story. She was like, Kelly, can you unmute your mic? And I'm like, what? Like, I was, the first time I'd ever been there, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was terrified. Right. And then she was like, I just want to let you know, God is telling me that he's going to break down your wall. And I literally I was in tears. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'd built up this wall, and I kept building up this wall of anxiety, and I felt like I cannot get out. Like, I could not recognize myself. I would look in the mirror and I'm like, what is wrong with me? I don't even recognize myself anymore. And she was like, God is telling me that your wall is going to come down. And I'm like, that moment like clicked for me. I was like, that's what's happening. Like, I have a wall that keeps building up higher and higher and higher and higher. And I kept trying all these things to like push the wall down. And nothing was happening. After that Jericho story and Benet talking to me, I felt God speak, like for the first time. And he said, Kelly, you need to do the Jericho walk. So the first 2 days, I will say, first of all, my neighbors were probably looking at me like I was insane because I was coming outside. And so I would walk, and the first 2 days, I was like, I feel nothing. Like, I didn't feel like anything was happening. I'm like, nothing's happening, but I want to keep pushing through because I really feel like God was telling me, you need to take action. Like, right now you're just complaining and but you need to take action. And I'm telling you, the third day, it was definitely a God thing. I had a lady that I had known in my childhood, strong woman of God. She reached out to me on Facebook Messenger. I have not talked to her in 15 years, 20 years. And she sang me a song. But it was basically saying, hold on to Jesus because he's holding on to you. And honestly, I just started crying. I was like, I knew God was talking to me then. And I was like, okay, Kelly, let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing through. So that was the third day that I got this message. And then the fourth day, I started feeling a little bit better. And I started feeling like this cloud was lifting. And the fifth day, I was getting a little better. The sixth day was like, I would say 80% of my symptoms that I've been experiencing for months were gone. Like, literally gone. And this is something I've been dealing with since the end of August, continuously. Like, I was having twitches, I was having just these weird symptoms going on in my body that I just could not explain, and I couldn't get them to go away. And I would try medicines, and I was trying, all these different things. And it just, I felt this cloud lift. And the weird thing, which is not coincidence, on Thanksgiving Day was my 7th day. And I walked around the house the 7 times, and I was just basically just thanking God. I told him, I was like, if you could just help me mentally, I can handle the physical. You know what I mean? I can handle what's happening physically. It's just the mental was really getting off. And I was like, when I can't deal with things mentally, I was like, I was not myself, and it was scaring me. So it was such a powerful moment walking those 7 times around. I was just like, this is what I needed. I mean, I needed to just trust God, to be still, know that he's already there. And no matter what I'm trying to do, I was just trying to do all these things, so many different things. But I wasn't letting him do it. I was trying to take control of it and say, okay, if I do these things, I'll get better. I felt like I was doing the right things, but I was just so anxious and not letting God do his work. And I just feel like this whole thing, with Jenny, I didn't know Jenny, but I felt like I needed to reach out to her. And then she then told me about POUR. And I just felt so comfortable and like at home there. It just felt, that people really cared, and when I came on to share my testimony on there the next week, I mean, just the encouragement, and people it's just such a loving place to be, where you feel safe to talk about things that you're vulnerable about. Like, I'm like, I really don't want everybody to know, my experience, but you felt so comfortable. It felt just very natural to just open up, and people were just, giving thumbs up and hearts and, raising up their hands. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so special. And I had to reach out to Monet because I'm like, I just wanted her to know how impactful that moment was for me when she was talking about Jericho and about taking action and being quiet, like, quit trying to take control. Like, just let God, He already has it worked out. You just have to be still and like calm your mind. I mean, Pour has just been such a blessing to me. I mean, I look forward to every Thursday, like popping on, and you just never know what you're going to hear. You don't know, like, even if it's not something like that week that's particularly pertains to you, it pertains to somebody. And it's an amazing experience.